Botox will not get rid of your wrinkles, and people don't want to hear this. People associate Botox with wrinkle reduction, and when they find out that Botox does not actually remove existing wrinkles, they feel gypped out of their money, $600 to $800 per injection every 3 to 6 months, right? But any good Botox injector should be telling you this, and this is something that has been coming up more and more often, and you deserve to know about it, because no, Botox will not get rid of your existing wrinkles. Let me explain why. Let me explain how celebrities actually get around telling you whether or not they've had Botox. And let's explain how wrinkles actually work, because unless we understand the anatomy and the physiology of our skin, how our bodies work, we're not going to understand how they can interact with different medications or even topical skincare products to produce a result that we might be looking for. We need to specifically talk about how wrinkles work, how Botox works, and then how wrinkles and Botox do or don't work together. And for wrinkles specifically, you need to know that there's two main types. There's the static wrinkles and the dynamic wrinkles. Everyone has dynamic wrinkles. Those are the ones that happen when we smile or we emote, or if you're a YouTuber, when you make a thumbnail, right? Like those reaction videos. Should I restart the reaction videos? Should I not? The comments box is open. Well, these dynamic wrinkles are always going to be there, but for some people they end up getting static wrinkles. Static wrinkles are the ones that we normally think about when we think of wrinkles. They are the fine lines, the wrinkles that have set in. Some people get them on their forehead, some people get them around the marionette lines, the crow's feet, and really it's dynamic wrinkles that over time keep on folding into the skin that cause those static wrinkles that always stay. Think of static stay and dynamic disappear. When you're done emoting, they disappear, but the static stays around. Well, there are things that can contribute to faster wrinkling of the skin. If we lose the strong stuff in our skin, the collagen, or the stretchy stuff, the elastin, think of an elastic band. That's essentially what elastin does in your skin. And if we go in the sun, if we smoke, if we have damaged our skin a lot, or if we don't wear enough sunscreen, that collagen and elastin can break down faster, meaning those static wrinkles can show up quicker and they can be a bit more deep set. But all wrinkles come from movement. Have you ever thought about why most people don't get wrinkles in certain areas of the body? You might get stretch marks, but you usually don't get wrinkles on like your boobs or your bum. When you think about it, there's no muscle there that can actually fold the way that the muscles on our face can. Our faces have tons of muscles, tiny little muscles, so that we can emote. This is part of how we connect and communicate with others. But because of that, there's also a lot of opportunity to create these creases. Think of your skin like a beautiful piece of paper. You're a good looking piece of paper. I would read you like a book. What happens if you take a perfectly smooth piece of paper and you start to fold it? And you do this like 100 times. You continue to unfold it and you smooth it out. What's that paper going to look like? It's going to look like a paper with a crease in it, right? That crease is never going to fully go away. That paper is always going to have a crease, and that's essentially what a wrinkle is. Over time, as we go in the sun, as we smile, as we emote, as we show off our dynamic wrinkles, eventually that skin starts to crease. That's why we see a lot of wrinkles in the same places. And those set in over time, they become the static wrinkles. And that's essentially how wrinkles are formed. Now, we need to talk about the Botox, because most people also don't know that Botox is literally a toxin. It's botulinum toxin, one of the most toxic substances that, yes, can cause death and paralysis. That's literally how it kills. It's literally a bacteria that's found in plants and even the intestinal tracts of some mammals and fish, and it causes respiratory distress. Basically, you can't breathe anymore. It paralyzes your entire body, including your ability to breathe. Well, if this is so toxic and so terrible, how come all of the natural Gwyneth Paltrow followers and the almond moms are so obsessed with it? Well, because it has this promise for wrinkles, and a lot of the celebrities go and get it even if they don't tell you. And again, I'm gonna tell you in a minute how they get away with that. But wait a second, I thought that Botox was for wrinkles. People always get Botox or baby Botox for wrinkles. Cassandra, what are you talking about? Botox doesn't get rid of wrinkles. Let me explain. How does this botulinum toxin work? In order to understand that, we have to understand how muscle movement works. That muscle contracts, which makes the paper fold, then that crease sets in. That crease is the wrinkle. And the way that works is a beautiful but complex connection between your neurons, your literal brain, and your muscle fibers. You see, there's something called acetylcholine, and this is really important because your nerves have to release this, and it has to get to the muscle in order for your muscle to be able to contract, in order for your muscles to be able to move. This acetylcholine is called a neurotransmitter because it transmits information from a neuron. But it does that by creating this little package around it. And that little package needs to go from the neuron through a space called the synaptic cleft, and it needs to bind to that muscle fiber once it gets to its destination. This acetylcholine is basically packaged by a snare protein. It's made of 3 different things, but what's important is this snare. Well, when Botox is injected into the skin, it actually gets in the way of this snare protein from being able to form. It cleaves this protein, basically destroying the protein so it can't work. And what happens if the protein is destroyed? Well, the acetylcholine that's supposed to send this message from the nerve to the muscle, it can't carry that message anymore. It can't get it to where it needs to go. That acetylcholine message can't get into the muscle fiber. So what does that mean? That means that the muscle can't work anymore. The Botox, this toxin, is literally preventing that message from going through. And what happens when that message stops going through? Well, have you ever heard the term, you don't use it, you lose it? That doesn't always hold true, but for this it absolutely does. If you don't use a muscle, you end up losing it. That's why some people who are bodybuilders, if they stop working out, that muscle mass actually gets replaced with fat. Or that's why if you don't use a muscle for a certain amount of time because you had an injury or something like that, you're weaker when you're able to start exercising or moving again. And that's because the muddle, and that's because the muddle. Okay, sorry. We gotta call them muddles from now on. Is anyone else game? It's kind of like a Harry Potter muggle, but for your muscles. Anyways, if the muscle doesn't get used, it atrophies. It basically breaks down. And once it atrophies, it can't work as well anymore, even once the Botox wears off. And this is why so many celebrities get Botox again and again and again, because they're atrophying the muscle. But think about all of this. Toxin injected stops the signal from happening. The skin can no longer wrinkle. You're probably thinking, okay, Cassandra, if this Botox neurotoxin is preventing wrinkles, what do you mean this won't get rid of my wrinkles? Well, think about that. There's a difference between preventing something from happening and reversing something that has already happened. And this is one of the biggest things that people who come in for Botox injections to some of the derms that I work with literally do not understand. It's so much different to prevent something from happening than to reverse it, right? Prevention is always easier than treatment. It's easier to stop it than reverse it when it gets there. And celebrities know this, which is why they start Botox really young. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, it's their choice, but they start this young. Again, some people are even now doing baby Botox, and they continue with it for years. And that's why when Kim Kardashian cries, her face doesn't cry like her eyes do. Injecting Botox into the skin is not going to reverse existing wrinkles. It might make them appear less severe because we're no longer folding the skin, but if you already have static wrinkles in the skin, it's not going to get rid of the ones that already exist. It might stop you from being able to form dynamic wrinkles, and it's going to prevent new wrinkles from forming so that you don't get more. But if you already have existing wrinkles, you need to work with ingredients that are going to stimulate the collagen and elastin in your skin. Collagen and elastin are created by fibroblasts, these cool special skin cells that literally blast collagen and elastin and hyaluronic acid into your skin. So if you can stimulate those fibroblasts using things like retinoids, potentially some peptides, or even great things like medical microneedling or laser, oh my gosh, that works so well to create more collagen and elastin and to help boost up wrinkles from the inside out. Even filler can help get rid of wrinkles because you're boosting them up from the inside out. But that's very different than Botox, which prevents a wrinkle from setting in or prevents you from making a smile or making a face that causes a wrinkle down the line to happen. Now, how do celebrities get away with saying that they've never done Botox? Well, think about it. Botox is a brand name. It's specifically by the company Allergan. I could say I've never had Kraft mac and cheese. Maybe that's true because I haven't had the Kraft in the box, but have I had the Annie's or the Whole Foods 365? Or frick, I'm a vegan. Maybe I eat the nasty plastic taste and Daya stuff that yes, I f***ing love, okay? Yeah, just because I've had mac and cheese doesn't mean it's the brand name. You see, Botox is a brand name, but there are others out there that exist. They're still neurotoxins. They still work in the same way, preventing your skin from being able to wrinkle, but they could be things like Dysport or Xeomin. Those are other brand names. And when a celebrity gets up there and says,
oh, I've never had Botox.
Well, have you ever had Xeomin? Have you ever had Dysport? Have you ever had anything else? And then even for those celebrities who truly have never had any type of neurotransmitter injected into their face, they're probably getting a lot of other treatments and procedures that keeps their skin looking amazing both on and off camera. And that's why at the end of the day, whether or not you get Botox, you shouldn't look to celebrities and compare yourself to them, because we honestly don't know what goes on behind the scenes unless you're getting the direct scoop, or unless, you know, I hear about it and I'm not under HIPAA or an NDA and I can actually tell you. But also, you deserve to know how Botox works. You deserve to have this information so that you can make the right decisions for you. Or if you're a savvy skintellectual, you can literally send this to your friend who wants to get Botox or is always getting Botox, and you can help them understand how it works and have a conversation around that. Because at the end of the day, education is empowerment, right? And in order for us to be beautiful both inside and out, we should be aware of what options are available for our bodies, how they actually work, the science behind them. Think about how cool and beautiful the biology of our beauty is. If we can celebrate that and celebrate our bodies wherever they're at, we can try to change or modify them if we want, but we can still embrace them and the science and the nature that makes up us at the same time. So yeah, technically Botox does not get rid of your wrinkles. It can prevent them, but it does not treat them. And now you know the difference, as well as how celebrities get away with saying this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and always remember to be beautiful both inside and out. Send this to that friend, they will thank you. And if you enjoyed this, you're probably gonna love this. I can't wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.